Welcome to the Palma Boat Show and the world premiere of a really fascinating boat. Behind me here is the very first hull number 1 of the Giangrasso G24. And it is a really interesting boat with some very clever ideas that I just haven't seen before. So, my name is Hugo Andreae, you're watching Motorboat and Yachting. Let's go and take a closer look. A little bit about the Giangrasso yard then. They're based in Viareggio in Italy, and up until now they've mainly done contract work for other brands, for people like Blue Game, AB Yachts I think have subcontracted some of their sheds, but this is the first yacht they have built themselves, and it's a really unusual one. The concept behind it is to create the perfect full custom sub 24 metre yacht. And it is properly under 24 metres. So the LOA is under 24 metres, not just the waterline length, which means you can anchor much closer to shore in places like the south of France and Italy's marine parks and so on. So it is a genuine sub 24 metre boat. It's around about 78 feet, and it is full custom. It's built out of aluminium, so there's no GRP. It's a planing hull design, and it has a completely custom interior. So lots of things to talk about. We'll start at the stern here and go through it a little bit. You can see we've got a small platform for launching the jet ski. There is a tender up in the bow, which I'll show you later. You can see we've got a couple of sea bobs there too. We've got full fishing rods. Lovely deck shower. We have a high-low Bessonzoni staircase, so this will drop down into the sea as well as rise up to the quay. Makes it very easy to get on board. Custom stainless steel shower, extremely smart. You'll notice that all the things like the winches, pop-up cleats, got access to all the kit, everything. I'll just demonstrate, well, see if I can at least. So you'll see, look at the beautiful hinges on that. Everything is such high quality. You can see the whole thing aluminium. Just wanted to demonstrate that that is the real deal. Lovely big cleats. Now, they did look originally at having an access door to the engine room here, but to be honest, because it had to be a certain height off the deck, they decided not to bother, so access to the engine room is via the cockpit. But let's start taking a look at some of the beautiful fit and finish on here. So this is the aft cockpit, really big dining table here. You notice these designer chairs, all very stylish, very cool. There are, of course, 2 big leaves. These lift out if you want to, and then you can have 2 smaller tables. They're all on a high-low pedestal, so you can have it down as sort of coffee tables or the grand dining table that you see here. Very nicely shaded overhead. Got steps up to the Flybridge. We'll take a look up there in a minute, but first let's do a quick tour of the decks. Again, just take a moment to look at the quality of the stainless steel work. Beautiful, all the wells polished out, really nice and chunky diameter, really solid, no flex at all. We've got side gates so you can step out onto the dock. Got nicely concealed life rings so you can chuck those overboard. Love the fact that you've got these cutouts here, so when you're sitting in the saloon you can see right through. It's not just a tall bulwark, but very nice and safe. These come up to waist height on me. Very nice, sort of clean, modern design as well. It's almost like a sort of robustness of an explorer yacht, but the style of a very modern Flybridge luxury cruiser. We've got a doorway into the helm station there, and this is the foredeck area, which, as you can see, is pretty busy. It's a working area rather than a bow lounge. We've got life rafts on both sides in their own bespoke racks. There is a Bessonzoni crane to lift the tender on and off. Even the tender is rather special, because they wanted a diesel-powered tender. Williams don't make one at this size, so Agilis have created a diesel-powered tender. It's 110 horsepower, it'll take 6 people, and it's full diesel power. You can see you've got all the nice little touches like steps on board, a boarding pole, ski bar or ski tow bar. Have a technical space in the bow so you can get down into the anchor room, just have a very quick pier down there, but plenty of space for storing lines and fenders and things. Proper ship's bell at the bow. Really high quality twin anchor system. Carry on round. Just have a quick look back. You can see that's the large windscreen. We've got a shade on it at the moment, but we'll take a look from inside. Very smart, even the carbon fibre boat hook. No detail has been left untouched. Lovely pale teak decks. Another door into the galley so crew can come and go through the side without having to disturb guests in the cockpit. One other thing I wanted to show you before I forget. So, you know, I mentioned the fact that they've got a diesel tender. The idea being that they didn't want to carry separate fuel on board, and that is because if I open this, you'll see there is a little fuel pump, so that you can top up the tender directly from the main diesel fuel tank using that little built-in fuel supply system. Lovely little detail, that. Right, let's go and take a look inside. We'll have a look at the engine room. There is the hatch leading down the engine room. We'll have a look at that later. So full electric sliding doors into the saloon. They have got a proximity sensor, so as soon as you approach it, the doors slide open. So let's take a look up on the Flybridge. Lovely thick teak steps. It's the small things like that that just make it feel so much classier and more expensive than a lot of production yachts. So, full length Flybridge. Got freestanding lounges here. We have an absolutely massive wet bar, sort of outdoor galley running all the way along this side, and once again, absolutely top end kit. So we've got Miele grills and teppanyakis. We've got, oh, that's a safety cupboard, but we've got storage space. We've got a huge fridge in there. We've got a Hoshizaki ice maker, which I'm told are absolutely the very best you can get. Massive storage. I'm not going to open them all because it goes on forever. But there is one thing I did want to show you first. This is well worth opening, because check this out. If I pull that, you will see it is a full mixing deck. So you can have a DJ on board, or you just have a very talented captain who can do it for you, but a full-on DJ sound system. So this can become the ultimate party space. How cool is that? And of course, it's not just music you can enjoy. There is also a TV that magically appears out of the side unit. I say magic, it's actually because there's a very nice captain over here who is controlling it all for me. Thank you very much for showing that. But massive TV, all of course under the shade of the hardtop. Even the hardtop itself, you'll notice we've got little etched lines. I suspect they're probably lights too. You can see some of the speakers up there. Clearly, the owner knows how to enjoy his yacht to the full. There is a small helm station up here. You'll notice that there isn't a fixed chair. It is more of a leaning post. You can see we've got a cushion here. Very cool little G-shaped Giangrasso wheel, presumably. But you've got all the repeats to control, and we'll have a proper look in the engine room later, because that itself is a real treat. But you can see we have got a ZF joystick control. We've got thrusters, everything you need. So relatively small. The main helm is obviously downstairs, but very nice that the captain can be up here on a nice day and chat to the guests and drive from up here. Lovely seating area in the middle. That's very much at the heart of it. You can see a big high-low table, but full length, open Flybridge with hardtop cover means you've got plenty of outdoor space to complement that lovely downstairs saloon. So when you come through into the saloon area, now you start to get a bit of a feel for what this boat is all about on the inside. Lovely open space, lots of pale woods, soft, beautiful carpets underfoot. These are Taiping carpets, they're all pure silk. I believe there's 55,000 euros worth of carpets on board this boat. But again, that's very much in keeping with the idea of a full custom super yacht, albeit below the 24-metre length. So really high quality stuff. Lovely proper wood flooring with its own little unique texture. Even things like the TV and the sound system are very, very high end. Check this out. I think it is called a de Vialet or de Violet. I don't know how you pronounce it, but I'm told it's a really high-end sound system. Open plan, so you've got the dining area over on this side. Lovely big windows, so now you can see the advantage of having those cutaway bulwarks. You can see through there. Beautiful fabric blinds, but plenty of light. Overhead, you've got this inset lighting feature. Again, everything is sort of fully stylized. It's proper designer stuff, not just production yard quality. Very soft, I think that's sort of Alcantara pale blue sofa. Even things like this, the tables, look at that. Looks like they're great slices of some kind of marble. Not quite sure what it was, but you can see they beautifully sliced, and 3 separate ones acting together as one beautiful coffee table. You'll see as we move around the boat, there are little elegant touches of high gloss mahogany, just to provide a bit of contrast with all the pale woods. It looks like that opens. I think that's a drinks cupboard in there. I can see loads of decanters hiding behind there. And take a look in this wall unit. Lovely. This looks like sort of sea ray type skin. I suspect it's probably printed leather, but it looks like it. And if you open it up, look at the quality inside here. A full dinner set, beautiful ceramics, holders for every single glass, every single coffee cup. Really gorgeous stuff. And whilst we're talking food and dinner services, we have the galley over on this side. And again, it's very high spec for a boat of this size. It runs a full 400 volt system, largely so that we can have things like this rational oven. Super high quality, professional standard commercial oven. So you can have a professional chef on board using professional kit, delivering restaurant quality food. Really big Miele induction hob, big fridge freezer over on this side. Slightly narrow little pantry area here, but quite cleverly they've just used it to have things like the coffee maker, ice maker, and rather nice that they've got clear screens, so at least it lets a bit of light in. It may be quite narrow in terms of actual space, but at least it doesn't feel too claustrophobic because you've got plenty of light. Here is one of these access doors out to the deck, so crew can come and go directly via there. And then as we come forward, you'll see there is a pocket door leading through into the helm station. That slides across so that you can have the crew working the boat at night, for instance. They can all stay separate and private while guests can be eating. So here is the helm station. You can see that's the window through into that little pantry unit. There is a small companion bench on this side, so whether that's crew or guests can sit over on this side and look forward underway. We've got the helm station over on the port side. 2 large Raymarine screens, again set in that lovely varnished mahogany. You can see again sort of full custom. You've got some of the details of the yacht inlaid into that. Now they are quite thick mullions here, so you are going to need to use the cameras. You'll notice that we've already got rear view cameras on that screen there. You are going to need those because visibility is a little bit compromised when looking astern, and actually even forward to some degree. These mullions do block a certain amount of the view, but I guess there's always going to be some level of compromise. But given that you're going to have a professional captain and crew on a yacht like this, they will be well used to dealing with those kind of things. Now there is access down to the crew cabins. We might as well go and have a very quick look in there. I have a feeling the captain might actually be in here, so I'm not sure if we'll look in both of them, but I'll just give you a quick idea of what is down here. There is a separate laundry over on the port side. Really nice for crew, again, to have that as a separate space. There is a pocket door rather than within their sort of crew area itself, in terms of it's not in anybody's cabin, for instance. There are 2 cabins down here. Just have a little knock, you can have a look. We've got twin bunk cabins on that side. There is a bathroom through there, so they're both en suite. I think the captain is in his, but essentially there is exactly the same captain's cabin over on this side. They're both en suite. They're not huge, but they are private and they are en suite. It's quite a steep staircase up, but perfectly manageable. And let's go and take a look at the guest accommodation, because that is really quite special. So steps down to the guest accommodation. That does come from within this sort of helm area. So there isn't separate access, but rather smart curved staircase. More of this gloss mahogany. And let's go back towards the stern initially and go and take a look at the owner's cabin, the master cabin. So this is a midships, it's a full beam midships cabin, and it does feel very, very special down here. This is where the full effect of the designer's interior scheme really comes together. We've got this beautiful silk wall covering. I think it's cherry blossom. We've got those typing carpets. Again, really thick silk underfoot, feels fabulous. Big hull windows on both sides. I can also tell you that it's not only incredibly quiet, it's also very cool down here. And that is because they have a full centralized cooling system rather than individual air conditioners in each cabin and individual air circulators. The whole thing is run centrally, just as you would a kind of 50-meter yacht, but in a 24-meter one. Have a walk-in wardrobe over on the starboard side. Very smart, got your bathrobes and drawers. Lovely king-size bed. Desk over on the port side. Another one of these very high-end music machines. I don't even know how it works, to be honest, but it looks like a thing of beauty, and I bet it sounds just as good. And then obviously ensuite bathroom. Now this is all Corian. Because the boat is aluminium and full planing, they didn't want to add too much weight. So even though it looks just like marble, it looks the same, but it is considerably lighter. And separate compartments both for the shower. Got one in there. Pretty decent size. Beautifully finished. And of course, a toilet over on this side. Oh, obviously it opens the other way around. Good work, Hugo. So there is the toilet and the bidet. So you just need to make sure that you close the door before you open that. And then come forward. And again, even though it's a sub 24-meter boat, there's actually a really good number of cabins. There are 4 separate guest cabins. All of them are en suite, so this is one of the doubles. Now there's not a massive amount of floor space around the bed, but the bed itself is a good size. You've got a really nice big hull window, so it stays nice and light. More of these very high-end silk wall coverings. Ensuite bathroom. Exactly the same Corian. What I really like about it, it's not overkill in terms of size and space, but everything just works. It's big enough to not feel at all cramped. It certainly doesn't feel remotely claustrophobic because of all the lovely light colours and the hull windows and so on. And again, the quality of the carpets, I can't tell you how good they feel underfoot. Ensuite again, exactly the same. It's effectively a mirror version of the cabin on the other side. So there's 2 doubles, and then if we come further aft still, there is a 4th cabin. This one is a twin, but again a really generously proportioned twin. Double hull window, so it feels lovely and light. Decent amount of space between the beds. They're not the widest of beds, they're probably kind of not quite 3 feet, I would say. You'll notice that there is an extra Pullman berth. That will fold down from there. So you can sleep up to 9 guests on board, which is pretty impressive, certainly given the comfort levels. And even this has its own ensuite bathroom. I say even because it's actually a really good size one. Check that out. Given that this is the smallest of the cabins, the twin, it's actually got one of the largest bathrooms. Really huge. Full length shower. It is a little bit narrow, probably could steal an extra 6 inches or so just to make that a slightly wider shower, especially given how generous the rest of the bathroom is. But look at that. You're not going to feel too hard done by if you're the 4th cabin occupant. Looks like there's one more door in here. Just have a little peek in there. That is the laundry room. Look at that. It really does. Everything looks and feels like a much bigger yacht than it actually is. And having the luxury of a separate laundry cupboard. It is also a technical space by the looks of things, but I bet you the crew appreciate that. Right, let's pop back upstairs. The captain has very kindly agreed to show me the engine room because there's a lot of kit going on down here, and frankly he's going to know a lot more about it than I am, so I'm going to make my way down. It is a relatively steep, relatively narrow hatch. I'll give you an idea of that. Here we go, dropping down. Okay, so I'm going to pass the mic to you now. Remind me of your name.
My name is Mick, so I'm the captain on board Viareggio. I've done the build and been with her now ever since launch.
Great, so talk me through, what have we got here?
So this is the main switchboard, right, for the vessel. So she's 400 volts. So we have a full PMS, which is power management system on board, meaning we can do seamless transfer from shore power to generator and vice versa. Ensuring there's no blackouts. It's very convenient for the guests and it's very safe as well for the equipment. So we're protecting the equipment from power surges and so on and so on.
Good stuff. Shall we go and have a look in the engine room proper?
Yeah, absolutely.
So full watertight door.
Exactly. So this is the engine room here. We've got 2 MAN V12 1650 either side. Very nicely laid out, and copper nickel seawater system, which you can see here as well.
And they're on the ZF pods?
They're on ZF pods, just at the back here, as you can see.
And what sort of speed will that give you?
So we can go light ship, which is about 20% of fuel in the tanks. We can do 30 knots with this vessel.
Wow.
However, we're cruising at 23 knots, which is the main cruising speed for this vessel.
And what sort of consumption and range do you get at that?
Looking at about 220 litres per engine, so that gives us about 440, give or take 4 to 6 litres per generator as well. In addition to that, we're pushing about 420 miles in at 23 knots.
Unrefueled range?
Unrefueled range.
From 8,900 litres?
8,980 litres.
Good stuff. Show me some of the kit on board then, because there's a lot going on here.
So 2 generators either side. These are Kohler's 28 kilowatts each. Providing us with a great system. We actually have to just run one for powering all of the hotel systems. The only time we use both of these generators is when we're docking and maneuvering the vessel. We have a bow thruster that is 32 kilowatts, and that requires both of them to be running in parallel. Good which stuff. Luckily our Dave system over there takes care of all by itself in automatic mode.
What have we got down here? Is this the fuel system?
Yes, this is the fuel manifold that we have here. And the blue dome that you see there with the grey lid, that's actually the fuel purifier. So we have an Alpha Laval system, ensuring we have the cleanest fuel delivered straight to the engines and of course into our daily tank.
What about here?
In the center line of the ship you will see a Selmar Blue Sea 2500. So this is treatment of the black water. We actually use hydrogen peroxide mixed with compressed air to fully treat, reduce the smell, and purify all of the black water so that when we're 3 miles offshore and we're actually cruising, we're complying with MARPOL and we can safely pump out this black water. Wow. So it's really making a livable boat if we're doing extended cruising, and we're complying with the regulations, of course.
Fantastic. Over on this side, is this all?
Yep, so we've got 2 boilers. Yep. They're 100 litres each, providing plenty of hot water if everybody's showering. If we've got 9 guests, also the 3 crew, everybody showering at the same time. There's no interruptions in hot water unless, okay, you're really pushing it, but it's been pretty good. We've tried it in all scenarios and it really works.
Fantastic. And the air conditioning system?
Yeah, air conditioning system. We have a full chiller plant at the back there. It's a bit hard to see. That provides us with extraction, ATU, AHU, and it's heating and cooling for the whole vessel. Everything's redundant, so we've got two circulation pumps, we've got two compressors, we've got two raw water pumps. Everything's been made to be redundant on this ship.
And how quiet is it underway?
It's not too loud, I must say. It really isn't too loud.
Okay. And all this weight at the back, does it tend to ride a bit bow up then, or?
It really depends how you use your trim system. I've managed to get about 5 degrees of pitch. Once you deploy the zip wakes and the CMC fins, you're really running down to about 2 degrees pitch, 1 degree pitch. It's actually quite flat.
So you've got electric CMC stabilizers.
Electric, yeah.
Mounted amidships, so...
Exactly. They're just in the control room back here.
Right.
So they're not in any of the cabin spaces, basically reducing all unwanted noise and making the comfort on board for the guests paramount.
Very cool. So for a 24-metre yacht, does it cut the mustard?
It cuts the mustard.
Great stuff. Thank you very much for showing us around.
Very welcome.
Really appreciate it. So that is the Giangrasso G24, but there is one crucial number we haven't talked about, and probably the most important of them all, which is, of course, price. Now, a full custom yacht like this was never going to be a bargain price, but you know what? A starting price of 7.5 million euros ex-tax, and in the spec that you see here, with all that admittedly very high-end interior, comes up to about 7.2 million euros ex-tax. But I have to say, it is a very special feeling yacht. I've not seen anything quite like this before. And if you want to go the extra mile and have a full custom aluminium yacht with the kind of fit out and engineering that you normally get in a much bigger kind of 30, 40, even 50 metre super yacht, then I can't think of anything else that quite comes close to it. So I hope you've enjoyed having a good look round. Please do let me know what you make of it in the comments. And of course, as always, thank you very much for watching.